What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. This is a message to my subscribers because I'm telling you, I read about 95% of my comments. I promise. If you write a daggone comment, 95% chance I read it. The 5% because I just missed it. Because I spend a great deal of time going through my comments in every one of my videos, reading the comments of what people got to say. Let me tell you something. That shit takes a while. All right, it takes almost as long as doing a video. For instance, I could do this video, right? I don't know how long it's gonna be, right? Because I don't write anything. I don't make any point. I don't like write any points. I simply have an idea that pops in my head, and if it's convenient for me, I sit here and run my mouth, right, straight off the top of my head. All the thousands of videos I've done has been off the top of my head, right? Even if it's based in previous research, is right off the top of my head. And one of the most common comments that I get in my videos when I be cooking, because I ain't gonna lie, I watch my own videos, right? I'm pretty sure rap artists, they listen to their own shit. I listen to my own shit. I be like, damn, I was cooking. Because the thing is, when I'm going, right? When I'm going, it's coming out. It's in a freestyle, like I'm freestyling it, right? So I don't get to sit back and enjoy the things that I say, even though I'm saying it, but I'm flowing. When you flow, you try not to interrupt. That's why if you notice the difference between my videos and like other videos, if you peep it, and I know my subscribers peep it because they're like me, and this is the point of the video, is that ever since CapCut came on and everybody started doing videos, you would notice that people would talk, then the video would clip, and they talk, clip, talk, right? Giving an impression that everybody knows how to make speeches. Everybody knows how to talk. Everybody has an oratory skill, right? And the truth is, 90% of the people who make videos, they can't talk. All right, they clip, they'll say 2 or 3 strong words, strong sentences very powerfully, and then they got to think about it, cut, and then they'll say another 2 or 3 strong words, right? Then they'll think about it, and then they'll go back, edit it, and they'll slice it up to make it seem like they was cooking, right? And sometimes they are cooking with the thought. It's just that it's not a flowing thought. It's not a straight thought. So one of my styles is to try to do the least amount, at least when it comes to my portion of my videos, right? Goddamn helicopter there's all kind of activities happening at Andrews Air Force Base. Yeah, I can say that. Andrews Air Force Base is big as shit, all right? And they are, get from over there, damn dogs. Anyway, so my style of video, because everybody got their own thing right? Everybody got their own style. My style is try to make uncut videos of me talking without any cuts, right? Because I know that people will appreciate that, right? And because to be honest, for a person who's so long-winded as myself, I notice people's cuts, but it kind of annoys me a little bit because it messes up the flow, because I know this is not a continuous stream. This is well thought out, but it's being portrayed as a continuous stream, right? Like for instance, people freestyle nowadays, right? They call it a freestyle, but they're not coming off the top of their head. It's something they wrote. It's a throwaway rhyme they wrote with no hooks, and they just kill it. And they're like, yeah, I just freestyle. Like, nah, bro, that wasn't a freestyle. A freestyle when it comes out of your head in a plank, all right? In a plank, in the smallest between point 1 and point A and B, the smallest distance between any object is a plank, right? Like that distance. And how good can it flow, good, bad, or indifferent? And real freestyling, rapping, if you notice, they make certain mistakes, but then they got to make up for it in time and all that stuff, right? You can tell the difference between a real freestyle and somebody who wrote something real nice and they just, rapping it after practicing it a million times, right? So my style is to just say it right off the top of my head, the way I say it, one take usually. Sometimes if I don't start it off right, I'll start all over. Or if my phone ring, you'll see a cut or whatever. Or if something interrupts my flow to where I have to stop, then I'll stop, because life gets in the way. But other than that, most of my videos are straight through, right? And the things that I say, because like I said, the main thing, did I even say it? I don't know. The main thing is people say, damn, that's exactly what I was thinking. That's one. Or you're saying the same thing that I was saying. That's another one. Or I said that the other day to my friend such and such, blah. Or I said that the other day to my family member, right? And I noticed that the people that run into me, they be like, damn, that dude legitimately just said what I said, right? And so my thing is the subscribers that I've built, because I'm at 72,000 subscribers. Sure, I've been doing YouTube for, I guess, taking it seriously for about 3 years. I don't know. More than that, probably 4 or 5 years. Whatever. I mean, shit. Because I actually use it like social media, right? Like the way social media was meant. I'm just saying whatever I'm saying socially, and then other people reply, and here's this thing that happened. I'm talking about this thing. Same thing we used to do on Facebook. I used to be on Facebook, typing like shit, having whole conversations and stuff, just like we all used to be, And then Facebook got old and stale, and YouTube told me they'd pay me for it. I'm like, what? Oh shit. Oh no, hold up. Man, they was like, yeah, you done earned 5 cents from that video. I was like, 5 cents. You know what I can do with 5 cents? Shit, add that shit to $1 and then add that dollar to something else. That's how I was looking at it. Man, I was like, fuck Facebook. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, fuck Facebook. They ain't paying me. But now apparently Facebook is paying people. But I just don't feel like learning how to do it. I mean, they monetize me. Like, I got enough people to go monetize over it. I don't know. I just don't like the platform. I do like YouTube. I got used to YouTube, it's just, I'm on YouTube, whatever, right? And so I was like, all right, so what am I going to do, as far as, my content is my content. The stuff that I talk about on my YouTube channel is what I talk about in real life. So I don't have to struggle for content. I see a lot of YouTubers struggling for content. They be like, what do I talk about? Especially those URL streamers, right? They got to come on live all day long to talk about what, right? Or they put so much pressure on themselves, they say, okay, algorithm, what do you want me to talk about it? Because that's what happens a lot. A lot of YouTubers, they come on with certain intentions, and then when they realize that it's not so easy, then they start begging the algorithm, to tell them, what is it that you want me to talk about so I can make some money, right? Because that's the purpose of, everybody wants to be a YouTuber now, right? Everybody wants to be a streamer because they think that's the way to they gonna make it, because they look on YouTube and they see all these people that done made it, right? Rapping ain't doing shit no more. Anybody selling CDs no more. So now people figure, damn, I got this camera, low barrier entry. If I'm interesting enough, maybe I can become a millionaire, right? Which is the case for social media, right? But not always the case. It all depends on how you feed that YouTube algorithm. But for me, I knew that my topic would be a topic that would be blackballed. I knew that the things that I like to talk about were the kind that get you fired from your job. Okay? And when I started my YouTube, I knew where I was working was a very sensitive area. I hold several government clearances. Okay? I was doing a very important, secretive job. I had privy to lots and lots of information, right? So a person like me, specifically, talking about this type of stuff, I knew that I could lose my job, okay? But I have a cushion because of my military experience and the military having to pay me for the rest of my life. Okay, so I was like, worst case scenario, especially the way I set my life up, I made it so instead of reaching for the stars to be super rich, because everybody thinks the hustle to be rich, I was reaching to be financially stable. Meaning, can I pay my mortgage? Can I pay my light bill, water bill, my car note? And can I buy groceries, every month, no matter what? Can I take care of my family and have a little bit extra no matter what? If bare bones minimum, can I take care of my family and do 1 or 2 cool things throughout the year that I would like to do? If I can do that and not work, I made it. That's as far as I'm concerned. Hey, right? And so I got to that point while I was at work. But while I was at work, because I'm reckless, because I'm a Marine, you know, Marines, we don't give a fuck, right? Ask any Marine. If you're a Ranger, Army Ranger, you don't give a fuck, right? If you're a combat Army veteran, you don't give a fuck, right? Once you go to combat, there's a lot of not giving a fuck that happens, right? Because, like, if you just don't know. Once you've been in combat, it changes you forever, forever. You look at things differently. You don't take certain shit serious, because I'm a goofball. 99.99% of my life, I'm on joke time. I only get serious when necessary, right? Because to me, nothing can possibly be more serious than firing weapons at people who are firing weapons at you with the intent to kill for a sustained amount of time. There's absolutely nothing can be more serious than that, right? So, needless to say, I took liberties with my mouth, and I said what the hell I wanted to say, right? I was kind of tactical about it. A lot of my day ones, y'all used to see me walk to work. Y'all see me walk between them buildings. I was going to work, talking my shit. And then I get into work like, man, I hope nobody's seen that shit. When I get in there, and luckily nobody did, right? But people knew me in my job. They were like, that's the dude on YouTube. Oh shit, right? Oh shit, right? So, you know, I knew that the conversations I was having with my counterparts, people who are like me, veterans, law enforcement professionals, federal law enforcement, Customs and Border Patrol, CBP, USAID, FBI, CIA, Secret Service, right? GSA, military contractors. All these people who I work around, all these people, we all sit around and have a conversation. The black ones, right? And I know how the black ones feel. A lot of the black ones feel we sit back like, damn, man, the rest of the world have no idea what it is that black folks are doing in these agencies trying to change the culture. Black folk, they don't know how, when you have that inside scoop, we get to see the devil in action because we work with them, right? And I seen that the contrast between the Spanish, the Spanish ones, they hate other Spanish people, right? And they talk about it. And the white folks who should have never had the ability to be police officers somehow getting in the field, right? And how their mannerisms are. We all sit around and talk, right? I done met all these white guys in the military. I done met all these white guys from Boone Hickey, middle of America, who grew up with nothing, who grew up in a trailer park, who grew up the same way any black dude in the hood grew up, who grew up in gangs, all white. Places all white, grew up in gangs, all right, grew up fighting the other street because the other street got another name. These white folk, all right, I heard about the poverty. I learned about that shit. I didn't know they was going through all that shit either, right? I seen it for myself, right? And so I learned about all these different type of white people, and I knew they weren't all the same. I seen the uppity white people, the ones coming from the burbs, from the gated communities and shit. I seen how they interact with the other white folks that's struggling like shit, right? I seen the depression that white people can fall upon, right? And I seen the dynamics between white and black in a warrior setting. And all my black veterans know who dominates when all being equal. And no one's there to protect you or save you. We all know, right? So that's why I talk so boldly, right? And I just... And at my job that I did for 15 years, in my field, I had these conversations. And these conversations were being had with me. From every three-letter agency, every contractor, I'm telling you, y'all have no idea. Y'all have no idea how many federal police departments there are in Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. Y'all are clueless. Y'all think the CIA and the FBI is the end all be all. Y'all have no idea how many three-letter agencies there are. Y'all have no idea how many contractors, which mean contractors are private agencies that work for the government. Y'all have absolutely no idea how many private contracting companies out there? Some of you guys walk past, if y'all in Washington DC, y'all walk past, y'all think they all look the same. Y'all look at these security, even the people you think are security officers. You walk past these buildings in Washington DC, in Texas, in any federal area, and you look at them as mall cops, as rent-a-cops, as fake police. You have no idea how highly trained these contractors are and with the shit that they done did. You have no idea. Most of these guys that you calling rent-a-cops, I'll be God honest. Most of these guys you call rent-a-cops have more training than your local and state police. They shoot better than your local and state police. They have more counterintelligence training than your local and state police. They've been in more danger and seen more action than your local and state police. And they're not security guards. They're not security officers. There's something else. There's levels to that shit. Like y'all, and it's meant to be like that. They want you to believe that these people are mall cops. They want you to believe that they're just they want you. Y'all have no idea the apparatus that in defense, in offense that the government. Y'all have no clue, right? How large it is, how vast it is, right? And so, with that being said, I'm having conversations with these people for decades, and we talk about this shit. And we wish we can say this shit, but we can't because we hold clearances. Because if we get caught saying some of this, our lives are ruined. Our bills won't get paid. Mortgage won't get paid. Can't pay the car note. Can't feed the children. Can't send the kids off to school. It's a serious consequence for saying the things that you say, right? As you can see, people get canceled all the time and get fired from their regular jobs. You're talking about all these black people that are sitting in positions of power that if they were to leave and create a vacuum and allow all these white folks with bad intention to get into, that shit could be 10 times worse. Y'all have no idea what the black people are doing just holding these positions and keeping them away from white folks. Trust and believe. And those are the people that Donald Trump has been firing as of late, right? But so what I decided to do, because I would watch social media and I got my favorite YouTubers and things like that. And I know that a lot of them, they say things, but they got to be careful because either they're beholden to that algorithm that pay them or they're beholden to the job that they got. They got to watch out what they say, right? And so me, I'll say, somebody got to fucking do it. Somebody just got to say it and not give a fuck. And I chose me, right? A lot of people out here looking for leaders instead of looking in the mirror. You're supposed to be the change that you want. The change that you believe in, you are the one who's supposed to put that shit in action. You are the leader you're looking for. You are the champion that you are looking for. So I decided to go right ahead and do that. Oh, give me a second to turn my light on. It done got a little dark on me. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to talk like we normally talk at work. I'm just going to do it on camera and see what happens. And the thing is, because I didn't debase myself, because I didn't ever embarrass myself, see, in order to become rich on YouTube, right, so you can be financially free and stuff, you have to go through the humiliation ritual, right? Look at Charleston White. He's an embarrassment. But look how much money he has. He's gone through the humiliation ritual, right? But he done fucked around, right? And they ain't talking shit about Charlie Kirk, white people, right? And he gets paid to talk shit about black people. He's a coon wrapped in hip-hop wrapping paper, pretending to be a righteous, some sort of new age righteous funny unk. In reality, he's a super coon who pretends like he cares, but he doesn't, because he's given into the algorithm. He's given into the monsters that be. But then when he try to step out of line like he did with Charlie Kirk, now those white people, they're gonna cancel him. That's what they're gonna do, right? Let's see if his not giving a fuck attitude can fight through that shit, right? And so, so I am what people supposedly like about Charleston White. That's how I mean, Charleston White. I am what people really like about Charleston White. People look at Charleston White like, he keep it real. No, I keep it real, right? But I do it with dignity and respect. I do it for real, for the right purposes, right? For righteousness. Now, I don't consider myself some sort of, I ain't no goddamn hero. No, I'm a regular person. I make mistakes. I do dumb shit, right? I have my, opinions that people don't agree with, right? But at the same time, my overall moral guideline is in line with humanity, right? And so I decided somebody has to come on this internet and talk like a regular person. I talk like a regular. That's why you keep saying that I'm talking like you. Because from where I'm from, the black people have a choice. They can be ignorant or intelligent. Because black people in my area, the DMV, DC, Washington, Virginia, we have created an environment where black people have a choice. Right? Because we run things here. We run things here. So we've created an environment where black folks can make a choice. Whether you can be a dumbass ignoramus or you can be an intelligent person. Right? I've chosen intelligence. Right? So that's why I speak intelligently. Even though y'all hear me joking around, I can go back and forth. But even in my banter, you notice that I still throw my intelligence inside of it so you can learn something. Every one of my videos, you're going to learn something new. Right? Just like every time I go in the comment section, I learn something new. And it took me a real long time to build this subscriber base. Because if I had a bunch of flashy lights and shiny things, I would attract those who are attracted to flashy lights and shiny things. I would have 100. I have 1 million subscribers right now. I have 1 million subscribers because there are more uneducated than there are educated. There are more unenlightened than there are enlightened. I only wanted people who would listen to me run my mouth for 20 minutes without debasing myself, without humiliating myself, without doing something to embarrass myself for the entertainment of the viewers. I needed a group of people who would listen to me pontificate about a topic more than 2 seconds, right? I needed people who had attention spans, people like myself. That's why you keep saying that I'm saying the same thing you saying, because you and me are the same. See, I'm just a normal person, and I don't even represent the most intelligent, upper echelon of black society. I'm just okay. I'm serious, and I know that's the truth. It's just that most of the people who are highly intelligent, they're too goddamn busy in their lives keeping America together, keeping the corporations they work for together, keeping their business together, keeping their family in orbits together, to come online and do what I'm doing. It takes a lot of energy. They got to be in that situation to where they can do that without compromising their jobs. I just so happen to be in a situation where I can do it because I'm retired. I don't got to work. I'm a 42-year-old retired African American. Retired. Never have to work again. Bills will be paid. Now, I ain't rich. I be broke. I ain't gonna lie. I be looking for that YouTube, man. I'm like, God damn, man. That video only got 200. God, I ain't make my $11 yet. Like I'm telling you, it be like that. But at the same time, I'm good, right? And so I said, I'm gonna make a ton of videos and be unapologetically intelligent, and I'm gonna pontificate the way us normal black people pontificate on a daily basis at our jobs, at the water cooler, literally, at the refrigerator, right? While we getting our lunch for work, in the cafeteria, in the food court. I represent that guy. I'm telling you, I represent the majority of intelligent black Americans who have thoughtful ideas and thoughtful opinions about various different topics, and who are people who like to take action. The people who I represent actually go on vacation. They would never call themselves a passport bro because they're passport professionals. They're on their second and third passport. Having a passport is not something they get excited about because they've been had their passport. I represent the people who's been to almost every continent and don't get surprised when they learn something culturally new about a new group of people. Right? I represent those type of people. I represent the worldly African American who's not shocked, who's not stuck in the village and got a village mindset. The people who watch me have a global mindset. They're global citizens. They understand that what happens in Morocco can affect somebody in Iowa in some form or fashion, right? So, I just want to let you guys know who continuously say, man, I just said that's why. Because I represent you. Me and you, we're the same. I'm just a dude on the internet. I always say that. Y'all know I always say that. But I represent the regular person. And because I represent the regular person, I don't get no push from YouTube. I don't pay for no advertisements. Nobody even shares my videos. Nobody shares my videos. My shit is just sitting on an island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean waiting for ships to see it. Okay? People run across my channel. All right? Because I'm so pro-black, pan-African, telling the truth type of dude that goddamn it, ain't nobody sharing my shit. Even though they're advertising on my shit for sure, but you can't advertise the full totality of America's commercial empire on my shit. You can't do that. I got intelligent white people who listen to me. And listen, the white people in my community, the type of white people I know white people who grew up harder than any black person, who grew up struggling more than any black person, who never even had a chance to participate in this thing called white supremacy. I know some white people that grew, see, the thing is, what they forget, there's so many different type of white people, right? And there are white people who have always interacted with black people, who've always lived with us in our communities, who always went to the schools we went to, who've always worked at the same jobs as us, who've always interacted with us, right? Who've always been there, and they are woke. They've been woke. They even know that when we say white, when I be ragging on, I be talking all kind of biological shit on white folk. I ain't lying. Don't tell me I'm lying, right? But the white people that I know, the white people mainly in our community, they know it's true. And they, when we say white, they know we ain't talking about them. We got white people that black people say they not even white. They light skinned. If we give you the light skin target, if you get the light skin designation, you in there like swimwear. You don't even got to get invited to the cookout. We expect you to come and bring that thing you brought last time, right? Because they put seasoning in their food. You see, there's white people who been putting seasoning in their food because they've been with us. They go to our churches, right? They with us. They understand. You know, now there's a belt of them, right? Of white folks, and they know when we fighting against white supremacy, we fighting against them other white folk. They know we ain't talking about them. They the ones that got the so-called pass, but most of them don't even use the word. They don't even want the pass. They would never. They don't care about saying the N-word. They know plenty of other words. They don't care about the N-word. We know those white folks been with us. We're never talking about those white folks, right? And they don't pretend to be black. They are who they are. Some of them grew up in the hood and they got that hood aesthetic, which is an aesthetic from the hood. It's not a black thing. And then some of them about as hunky-dory as you can get. But they would defend their black brother and sister to the left and right. And we know they exist. They are like the ones we scoop out of this whole fight. Because they light-skinned. They not white. They done got rid of their white. They don't even care about the white title. Because white ain't real anyway. They light-skinned. They done embrace their brown-colored skin that's super light on the light spectrum. That's where they are. Right? So I'm not afraid of white people reacting to what I gotta say. That's why I got so many white people that say I'm a 60-something-year-old white person and I love everything you say, because they get it. They understand what we talking about. They know. And I understand that people misunderstand me sometimes and think I hate white people. I don't. I hate racist white people. I hate racist white people that don't want to evolve. I can deal with a racist white person that has an aha moment and be like, you know what? Maybe I was wrong. I can deal. I've dealt with that before in real life. Because racism comes from ignorance. Education defeats racism. That's why I educate, but I don't put no sugar on it. I just throw that shit out there. You're going to take this bit of medicine directly. It's the best way for you. I want you to feel what it tastes like to heal. That way you don't fuck yourself up and have to go through the healing process again. You understand? So, and y'all know who I'm talking about. Everybody who watches me know what I'm talking about. And now that I'm at 72,000 subscribers. I'm shocked. I am the only real pro-black, pan-African guy who talks the way I talk. No cut cards. I done got demonetized for this shit. I done got demonetized like... What, y'all see something? I'm sure they don't see anything. Oh, it's the other dogs. They on dog book. You know they got their own shit, right? Y'all don't think they ain't got their own shit? I guarantee you, your neighborhood, the dog down the street start barking, your dog start barking, and then the other dog start barking. They have the whole conversation. You don't know. We think they just tripping, but they talking about some shit. That's the truth, right? That's not my goddamn video. But I'm gonna keep going because, like I say, I just go. This is real life, right? In real life, dogs can mess up your video because they got their own shit going on, right? So what I'm saying is, let me get back on track. Okay, so the white folks, the different types of the white folks that I'm talking to, you know, that I'm telling this truth to, they appreciate me saying it and the way I'm saying, because they can comprehend. The people that watch me can comprehend. All right, and I'm at 72. There's nobody. Umar Johnson don't count. He's not a real Pan-African. He says the word Pan-African. He wears dashikis. He puts on the aesthetic. He's a commercialized Pan-African for pay. He's a sweaty roving preacher. Tariq Nasheed, he's not a pro-black anything. He's a grifter through and through, right? And yeah, these guys got larger groups of people, but the people that they have, they like shiny things and flashy lights. That's what stimulates their brain, not good, serious, long conversations. You know, not a TED talk. You know, that don't stimulate them. That shit's boring to them. If you're not making jokes about yourself, if you're not, you know, debasing yourself, embarrassing yourself, if you're not doing any one of these standard issue algorithm freaking humiliation issues, you know, we ain't about it. If you ain't talking shit about your community, you know, they ain't with it, right? And I even make positive content. Who the hell, what black person makes positive content about black people? And those are my least watched videos. I don't care, I make them any goddamn way. Because eventually somebody gonna see them. Somebody, I don't care if 3 people see that video and they be like, man, this made my day. That's all it was there for. That's why I made it, right? So I decided to go this route. And I said, you know what, if it takes people just running into my island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean for me to build my community, then that's just the way it's gonna take. And I'm on my way to 100,000. I believe I can get there by the end of the year. 100,000 quality premium subscribers. 100,000 subscribers that can complete a sentence. 100,000 subscribers that can read, you know, nuances within a paragraph and understand it, right? You know, 100,000 subscribers that can listen to my complexity of one of my videos, to where I'm like a rapper. I'm not just talking, but I'm doing a whole bunch of shit. I'm when I'm speaking, sometimes it's like art. Y'all know what I mean? It's like art, right? And you got to figure out what I just did. You know, I'm looking for those are the type of subscribers I like, right? And those are the kinds I'm building, which I'm very impressed with myself, by the way. I'm just letting you know. That's why I make it a point to try to be all up in my comment section on both my YouTube channels, on Afro Think Tank and Afro Think Tank Futurism, right? Which is my backup YouTube channel, because, you know, you gotta have backup. You know, I post pretty much the same shit on both, but once hopefully I get Afro Think Tank remonetized, I'll be differentiating the content, you know, somewhat, you know, because I understand there's 2 separate communities, even though it's the same shit. You know, YouTube's big. All right, billions and billions of people. Okay, so hey, it's just what it is. But I just want to let y'all know that unlike the rest of these YouTubers who think they better than you, who think that they are somehow God's gift to social media, right? Because look at how many of them come and gone since I've been here. How many of them blew up and fell off because either they ain't never got shit to say, right? So they become a whore to the algorithm, and they talk about all kind of shit that ain't got nothing to do with what they originally came on YouTube to talk about, or social media to talk about. Or maybe they burnt out because they don't have passion in it, because it's not something they're really interested in. They was just trying to make money. But because I'm interested in it, and because this is shit I talk about on a regular basis anyway, I simply just say it one time on my goddamn camera, like if I'm talking to a homie, and then I upload it, and all my homies get to listen to it. And we get to talk about it in the comment section. And as social media progresses, because I'm sure something else is going to come along, I'm going to follow along with it too. So whatever new comes out, I'll be over there. All right. But I just want to let you guys know the reason why I do what I do and talk the way I talk is because you can't right now. I'm doing it because you can't do it right now. Because every one of you guys wish, especially the ones that wish you can come out and do social media, but a lot of you can't. Because a lot of y'all got clearances. A lot of y'all in those positions I'm talking about. A lot of you guys are in them critical positions where you just can't fuck it up for the greater good. You just got to be there, and you can't risk it. I'm doing it for you guys. Until we get to the day where all of us can finally talk like this. Just straight. Peel back all the bullshit. There's so many layers of bullshit on top of bullshit. People who don't know don't even know. They don't know what's real no more. We got a whole generation that's growing up on layers of bullshit because ain't nobody ever kept it real with them ever. And I just want to be that thing, you know, that one real thing in the midst of all of this, right? So as a Pan-African, pro-black Pan-African, as a proud African American, all right, not FBA, a proud African American, all right. I don't even say black American, as a proud black person in America, or proud African American, as a proud African, as a pre-Nigerian, because I'm gonna get that citizenship. I'm telling you right now, hey, Nigeria, y'all gonna give me that citizenship. And when I get it, I'm gonna call myself a Nigerian American. I'm gonna call myself an African American Nigerian. I'm gonna figure that shit out. It's gonna be long and ridiculous, but I'm gonna do that shit. I'm just letting you know. I'm getting it, right? But you know, as long as I'm breathing, I'm gonna be doing this shit just like this. So that at least y'all got, while everybody, when anytime some shit happen, when you go on the regular freaking, you go on everybody else social media who bullshitting, right? Like there's this one guy who says he's a Pan-African, be to vote for Trump. It's impossible. And I think at this point, if you voted and advocated for Donald Trump, it's impossible that you were a Pan-African. No matter how many dashikis you wear, no matter how many times you go to Africa, you could be somebody who takes people to Africa, get them citizenship. But if you voted for Donald Trump, you're just a black guy who takes people to Africa and gives them citizenship for monetary value. But you ain't no Pan-African. You can't be if you advocate for the enemy of Pan-Africanism. I mean, that's just common sense, right? But anyway, yeah, and I'm gonna keep it that right there with that one, right? But other than that, I want to make sure I'm the realest Pan-African. Get me over 100,000 subscribers. Put me in the big. See, that's the big boy league, right? I've been hovering down here. I need to, when people see me run my damn mouth, right? I want them to see that goddamn YouTube gray freaking placard. They be like, how the fuck that dude get a fucking 100,000 subscribers? Saying that shit. How the hell he get? That's what I want, right? Because I see people who don't say anything worth anybody listening to, but because of the humiliation rituals that they participate in for the algorithm, they have received it. I want to receive it on my own terms, talking my shit, talking truth to power, representing the average black, excellent African American middle class, lower class, and upper class individual that wish they can just come out and say some shit, but because of the particular situation they are in right now, they can't do it. So I'm speaking for that person. All right. Anyway, you guys tell me what you think in the comment section. This is Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.